I'm here with Gary Owen, and he's going to show us a demonstration of cloud volumes.
Oh, okay. So cloud volumes is a tool that allows you to inject or instantly provision Windows applications into a running Windows virtual desktop. And it's fairly unique. I mean, you'll see it's fairly spectacular when we do it, just simply because of the speed and efficiency that it allows you to do. So if you look at what we have up here, this is a virtual desktop. It's a running virtual desktop. You can see it's a pretty disappointingly empty one. Yeah. There are no applications installed, and in fact, just to prove that, there is a Word document here on the screen, which is it has this sort of neutral icon because Word isn't installed. So essentially, this is like a brand new non-persistent desktop that's just been spawned. But the key point is it is up and running. It's actually there. It's running as a virtual machine in the system and is usable. Yeah, as I say, I can click on this. It's a usable virtual desktop, but no apps. So what Cloud Volumes can do is it allows you to provision pre-defined and pre-built sets of applications into that running virtual desktop. You don't have to turn it off. You don't have to get out of it. It can be running. So in this particular case, to demonstrate this, we'll show instant provisioning of Office. So if I go into the Cloud Volumes application, you see I've just clicked on the Office. This is an app stack, so-called app stack. An app stack is a volume of, if you like, pre-installed applications. In this case, Office 2010. So in this case, I can literally click on the Assign button for that app stack. It'll then ask me to say, what user or what virtual desktop do you want me to install those apps in? So I can search the Active Directory for this particular user, which is so it'll come back with a list of running users. In this case, I happen to know it's app vol user 1. So if I click on that, what that's saying is take that app stack and assign it to that running user. So if I now click on the Assign button, I then get the choice of saying, do you want me to attach that app stack to this user on next login or reboot, or do you want me to do it instantly, immediately? So in this case, I'll do it immediately. So if I now click on Assign, you'll see in a few seconds, no more than 2 or 3 seconds, all those applications are now installed, assigned, and these are perfectly usable apps. So if I double click on Excel, it's normal Excel. So as far as the user is concerned, that application is now provisioned and available to them. Oh, I don't want to do that.
But what's the catch? How is it provisioned actually so fast?
Well, essentially, it's some clever code in the background, but the actual apps themselves are semi-installed in what's called an app vol, an application volume in the background. And then the clever bit of Cloud Volumes is there's some secret source code which allows you to instantly associate that volume with this particular user. It doesn't take away any of the needs to do things like licensing, so even though you might only have one app vol with one set of Office 2010 in there, if you're going to associate that with 25, 30 users, you need 25 or 30 user licenses. So it's not a fix to licensing problems. It's not magic in that sense. But the key point about it is, as you can see, it just makes provision of applications very, very quick.
I mean, if I'm going to look at the C drive and the program files and all this, am I going to find the application installed really, or there is some kind of volume which is mounted externally?
Actually, it's mounted externally, but if you went into those, if you went in and actually checked that, as far as Windows is concerned, it is installed.
We actually tell Windows that it's installed, but
Yes.
it's not.
It's not. It's as you said. It's essentially a mounted volume with some clever driver code and everything between the two that makes Windows think that it's installed. Now you can equally, I mean, for a start, if you remember the document I had on the screen, which had a non-installed icon on it, now it has the Windows, the Microsoft Word icon. So it says that all the associations, all the entitlements, everything is actually carried across. Equally, you can unassign just as quickly. So if I unassign, and again detach it immediately, unassign, you'll see the applications disappear almost immediately as well. So the same thing's true.
Wow.
Now, if you like, I can really show off now, which is that that's great, but it was only 8 apps. What about installing a lot more? What about 66 apps? So again, I go through the same process, assign, associate it with the actual running user, and assign, attach it immediately. You'll see in approximately the same amount of time, suddenly you're going to have a screen full of applications. And all of those are installed, as far as Windows is concerned, and usable.
That's pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah, I think it's on its own, it's absolutely amazing technology. And we talked at VMworld San Francisco about a new project that we're doing called Project Meteor. What Project Meteor is it's about using this technology plus some other technology that we do to effectively make non-persistent desktops appear as if they are persistent. So we have another project called Project Fargo, which allows us to take a running virtual machine, and I'll use the word clone. It isn't cloning. It's technically something called forking, but it's about taking a running VM, forking off a new version of it, which is almost instant. It's not like starting up a virtual machine in the classic way, which is like taking a non-working file, copying it, associating, provisioning things to it, which can take several minutes. This is like almost instant. So if that virtual machine happens to be a virtual desktop, that's equivalent to this on the screen here. So we can get that up and running. So an end user essentially logs on, we immediately fork an empty user, and it's already there, bang, up and running. And we then instantly use app volumes or cloud volumes to populate that and to provision new apps to it, again, nearly instantly, as you can see. And the result of that is we can get essentially a provisioned desktop that can be tailored for the exact requirements of an individual user within a couple of seconds. And ultimately, we see that as being the beginnings of what we're calling just-in-time desktops, which is desktops which you can spin up, get running, personalized straight away. So it's like a persistent desktop, but with the economics and lack of need to store things and so on, the economics of a non-persistent desktop. So this is just the beginning of the story.
I imagine that we're gonna see it in a future version of Horizon View.
Well, we don't 100% know exactly how it's going to appear, but Project Meteor, it's quite likely that we will see that pretty soon, yes. So it's clearly at the moment we have the individual elements of the solution. What we've got to do now is we've got to do the integration work to pull it all together. But yes, I'm sure that will appear on the market in due course.
Thank you very much, Gary, for your interview. Thank you.